Hi everyone, my name is Lena and I would like to welcome you to OOP1 as well. In this video I would like to give you a brief introduction to Assignment 1. You probably already know me from ESP, but if you don't, I'm part of the team that creates the assignments. So let's start with some basics. Basically, the first thing you need to do is join our Discord server if you haven't already. There's the link there, and all the assignment basics in OOP1 are the same as in ESP. So you will get a personal repository on GitLab, then you implement your program, commit it, push it to your repository, and the last commit before the deadline will be created. This is also described in the assignment description, so you will see which branch you need to push on, etc. There will be public and private tests, so tests where you can see the results, and these are the public ones, and private tests where you will only get a basic result, like if you pass the test or not, but no details. We will also provide to you a make file, so you can use the make commands you probably already know, so make bin, make run, and make test, to locally execute and test your program. And then you will get a test report, which either you will get this by running make test locally, so you will get the public tests there, and you can also download a test report from your repository on GitLab. If you have any need to get a refresher on this, please watch the ESP video from last semester where this is explained in detail. But basically everything works the same as in ESP. So what is the task for assignment 1? Assignment 1 is what we call SOOP, which is to implement a zoo management tool. So you will have a 2D map of fields, and on this map you can build enclosures, and then you can buy animals from a shop and put them into these enclosures, and then finally you can rate the zoo you build. So this is a basic assignment to help you work with classes and all the new concepts for C++. We will provide a framework for you, so there is a main function or main CPP file in your repository already. You are not allowed to change this because it will be replaced in the test system, so please make sure your program is compatible with the main file we provide. And we also provide some functionality in a command line class, which helps you parse user input, and in a utils class, which helps you convert some strings into an integer, etc. And all other classes you need to implement are detailed in the description folder in your repository. So you need to implement exactly what we described there. Not only the functionality is described, but actually what the classes should look like is described. Some general info about A1. First of all, the deadline is on the 9th of April, and A1 is worth 18 points. The first assignment is solo work, but please still start early and put in some effort, because this A1 might influence which team you will be put in. For A2, you will have the opportunity to build your own teams, so select some team members and then sign up for a team together. Or if you don't want to do that, you can sign up for a basic group where we will then select teams. And for this selection that we do, we put people that have similar results on A1 together in a team. So if you do very well on A1 and then let us choose a team for you, you will be put in a group with other people who did well on assignment 1. Also, for A1, you need to pass at least 50% of the public test cases. Otherwise, you will be deregistered from the course without a grade. And if you pass these 50% of public test cases, you will move on to the team selection for A2. How do you get your points for assignment 1? The 100% of points will be functionality based in this case. There are the public and private test cases, and all the points you will get from there. There are no separate points for code style, but if your code is very difficult to read, we reserve the right to deduct 25%. But this is so please don't write spaghetti code without any indentations, etc., etc. So Make sure your code is readable, but there will be no separate points for code style. There's also the possibility of deductions. There are certain specifications which you need to follow. Some of them are given in the assignment description and some of them are on the course website, general specifications. So please take a look there and make sure you follow these rules so that we do not need to deduct points. And also for assignment 1, there will not be any assignment interviews. Let's take a look at an example of the program. So here we have an example program start. The program is started with 5 parameters. First of all, there's the name of the zoo. Then you have a config file that you need to parse, which contains a list of animals and prices. So this is the shop that you then can buy animals from in your program. Then you have an amount of starting money, how wide the zoo should be and how high the zoo should be. So this is how you start the program. And then when you start the program, for example, here we started the program with a 6x6 map. You can see here you have an image of the map. There's a certain output you need to implement for this. And then, first of all, you can build new enclosures on this map. So there are 3 different types of enclosures. There are savanna enclosures, forest enclosures, and aquarium enclosures. So for example, if we want to buy a forest, we would use build a forest. We would use a build command with the parameter forest. And then the first 2 numbers are the top left corner of this forest enclosure. So this would be 1, 1. So the forest starts here. And then the second 2 numbers are the width and the height of the enclosure. So the forest enclosure is 3 wide and 2 high. And then it is placed like this on the map. And another example, if you want to build an aquarium, we would use the parameter aquarium. Once again, we have like 5, 3, which are the coordinates of the top left field. 5, 3, so it starts here. And it's 2 wide and 4 high. So it would be placed like this. So after you have built some enclosures, you can also interleave these things, but after you've built some enclosures, you can place animals in them. You cannot place animals somewhere where there's not an enclosure. But I could, for example, first build this forest, then buy an animal for this forest, then build this aquarium, buy an animal for this aquarium. So you can interleave these, but you need to build at least 1 enclosure first so that you can buy an animal. The animal types you can buy are a lion, a giraffe, a gorilla, or a dolphin. And all of the animals you can buy are listed in this shop config file. And all of the animals have a certain name. So there might be different gorillas or different lions in the shop config file, which have a name and some trait. I think the giraffe has a certain neck length, and the lion has a certain mane length, and the dolphin has a certain amount of fish it eats per day or something like that. This is all explained in the assignment description. But if I then want to buy one of these animals from the shop, I would, for example, use a buy command. So I would say buy Lucas, which is one of the names in the shop config file, for example, and I want to place Lucas at 2, 2, which would be this field. But what is important here is that animals are not placed on the fields directly, but are just added to this enclosure. So with this 2, 2, I would specify that I want to place this, I think it's a gorilla, in this enclosure. But the actual placement, or how it is displayed in the output, would put the gorilla on the first field. So it's added to the enclosure, and then all gorillas that are placed in this, or all animals that are placed in this enclosure, are listed from left to right and top to bottom. It does not matter where in the enclosure they were originally placed. So if I add another gorilla to this enclosure, for example here, it would then be afterwards listed in this field because this is the second field in the list. It does not matter. The coordinates down here only specify which enclosure the animal should be added to. All right, and then a final thing you can do is you can rate your zoo. So there is a rate command which takes a look at the current status of the zoo, and then through a combination of which fields are part of which enclosures and which animals are placed where, and the different rules for each enclosure type, a rating for the whole zoo is calculated and printed. And you can do this multiple times. You can do this after each building command or after each buy command, etc. So at any point in time, you can rate the current status of the zoo. So this is it for the example. Let's take a look at what this looks like in the actual program. So I'm gonna go to the FOAM, and then this is our tutor test implementation. So this is a finished implementation of the program. And if I now start the program, it takes some time to compile because it's lots of files. And then you can see it was started with these parameters, so the name of the zoo, and it's used this shop config file, which is inside the config folder, so you can look at the file, actually look at the file. And then we have 20,000 starting money, and we have a 3x3 zoo, as it says here as well. And then we can see the map of the zoo printed. At the beginning it's empty. So what do we want to do first? Let's take a look at, get some information about this zoo. So we know the name of the zoo is soup, we have this amount of money, we haven't placed any animals, and it's got 9 empty fields, and there are no enclosures yet in this zoo that are empty, that do not have any animals. So what else do we need to know? We need to know what the shop looks like. All right, so we have a list of prices for the different enclosure types. So if I want to build one savanna field, it costs 1,000 coins, etc., etc. And then we have a list of animals which have a type, so lion, giraffe, gorilla, or dolphin, and a name. And in the background, these animals also have some additional traits which are not printed in this output. So let's see, what do we wanna, let's see, let's go with Lucas. So for Lucas, we need a forest. Gorillas need to be placed in a forest. So let's build a forest. Let's say we start at 1, put it in the top left corner, and it should be, I don't know, 2 wide and 1 high. So as you can see, the forest has been placed here. The fences have been put up. You can also see in the output. And then I want to buy this gorilla, which is called Lucas. And I want to place him at 2, 1, or add him to this enclosure. And as you can see, the field I specified was this one, but in the output, the gorilla is listed on the first field, listed from top left to bottom right. What else have we got? Let's do, how much money do we have left? Do an aquarium. Build aquarium. Where do we want to put this? At 1, 2. Aquariums are expensive, so let's just do 1 field. So now we've added an aquarium here, and then I want to add a dolphin to this. What was the dolphin called again? Felix. And 1, 2. Oh, I do not have enough money. Yeah, how much money do I have left? Oh, I only have 2,025 coins. Yeah, aquariums are very expensive. So, can I add anything else to this aquarium? No. Can I add any other animals? No, I cannot. I could build a savanna, but then the lion would be too expensive. Yeah, I don't think I can buy or build anything anymore here. That was not very bright of me to build an aquarium. But let's take a look at what this not very pretty and not very full zoo is rated. So, yes, I have a rating for all these enclosures. I have a forest enclosure that starts at 1, 1, and an aquarium enclosure that starts at 1, 2. And then there's some rules defined in the assignment description that tell you how many points each field in an enclosure is and how many points each animal is. And I think there's a bonus for a forest that is at the edge of the zoo, etc., etc. So I have this rating. That zoo has an overall rating of 9. That's not good, but you can see what the how the program works and what it's supposed to look like. So then I can just quit. So let's take another look at the assignment at the repository. Just take a look. As I said, it's the same as in ESP, so you have your own repository. We are now looking at the upstream, but you will get your own. And then the basic description of how the program should work is here under assignment description. So you have the different steps on how to implement this and return values and error messages, etc., etc. But for this assignment 1, we actually specify exactly what the classes should look like. And for this, you can go into the description folder, and then you have different descriptions for the different classes. For example, let's take a look at basic class, that's zoo, and it tells you all the data members the zoo should have and what the constructor should look like and what it should do and what methods should be implemented in this class. So this is in there for all the classes, so please follow this guide so you can practice creating classes and inheritance, etc., etc. All right. I think that's it for assignment 1. If you have any questions, please ask via Discord. There's an assignment 1 forum. Also check Discord for announcements. If there are any changes to the assignment or in the repository or to the deadline, etc., etc., we will announce this via Discord. We also recommend that you start pretty much as soon as the assignment is handed out with the basics. It is not very complicated, but you need to write a lot of things. So it might take some time, so please start early. And also, as always, please do not commit any plagiarism, also in relation to LLMs and ChatGPT. So we have rules on the website for that. Take a look at that again if you can't remember. And yes, then I wish you good luck for the first assignment for this course. And we will see each other again. And we will hear each other again. You can read me in the forum. And we will see each other again for the next assignment. All right. Goodbye.